So this video is titled Hacker Typing your formulas. And why is that? Because I would like to introduce you to Mathpix, which is a application you can download from mathpix.com, and it's a scanner app for math and science. So basically it digitizes handwritten or printed text. And in this example you can see that a formula coming from Wikipedia is snipped. It's down here, the Schrödinger equation. Then you can copy it, the LaTeX one, into your source code, and as you can see it will automatically put it in LaTeX for you. So this is very, very helpful, especially when you have to write a lot of formulas, because it will take a lot of time. With this being known, we'll go through some basics of how you write equations in LaTeX, because I still think it's good to have some basics for that. However, do consider downloading this from Mathpix, because it will simply save you a lot of time. Albert Einstein and Isaac Newton also gave some confessions that if they would have lived in our age, they would definitely use Mathpix. So definitely give it a shot. Alright, so now looking at the chapter equations within our template, the one that you can still download from the link I share in every description of videos. So in that chapter equations, let's talk about two things. So the first one is the first equation that we see in a equation environment, so with a begin and an end equation, and the other one is in text equations, which you see here, which has all kind of funny colors. So we'll discuss that later. But the difference is, I think, obvious. This one within the environment creates a separate equation with a number which you can refer to. So we give this equation a label, and if we use this label, you can use cleverref to refer to that equation itself. Now, for the other equation, we have an in-text equation, which we don't use a environment for, but we use the dollar signs. And so everything within these dollar signs will be an in-text equation. To discuss a bit more of what I just advise you to use Mathpix for is what you can see here. Here, C with a underscore O, which means that this O will be a subscript. Next up, we have the integral, which is done by this command, and exactly this. So we have the int, which has a lower bound 0 and an upper bound infinity, as you can see right here. And so what I'd like to talk about is the fact that you use an underscore to indicate the lower bound, and this small rooftop, which is created by shift 6 to have the upper bound. So in the basics, the integral is written as follows: int, like this. And then you have another one, which we'll discuss right now, which is the fraction, which is written like this. And you can fill out what you want inside those parentheses to get your desired output. And then there's something else I'd like to talk about, because right now we see in both equations we see brackets, and we want these brackets, of course, to scale with what's inside the brackets. And so for that you can use a trick, which is the following. You use left and then the bracket for the left bracket, and then right as a command, and then the right bracket to get a right bracket. And this command, left and right, will scale it automatically to towards what's inside the brackets. So if you wouldn't do this, you get complications, and this is the most straightforward way to tackle that. Then you have the command square root, and of course everything inside this parentheses until the next one will be inside the square root. Again, the C dot, which is of course the multiplication sign, and I think the last one which is relevant to discuss is what we see here, the smaller letter delta, which is simply written as delta, as you can see here. And you can imagine that if you have a capital for delta over here, let's compile it, you also get a capital delta over here, and this goes for all Greek symbols that you'd like. So hopefully this is helpful, and I wish you all the best with writing equations in LaTeX. Goodbye.